Guys, Dazzin over here. How you doing? I actually have a topic to talk about this time. Uh, didn't think it through very much. Just know what I kind of want to talk about. Kind of apathy and what's been happening here on planet Earth, at least from my perspective. It seems like apathy's already kind of kicked in for our cultures and our civilization here on Earth. What makes me think that is, if you guys follow my Instagram stories, I've been posting a lot about pollution because I've been doing political canvassing and kind of just going all over Daytona Beach and knocking door to door. And I'll be in apartment complexes or I'll be by river canal systems, all these things. And what I notice is they're just really, really trashed. And it's just not here. It's like all over lots of the United States. And if you leave the United States, the problem gets worse, especially in undeveloped nations, places in Central America, South America, Asia, even parts of Europe. Parts of Europe can be comparable to the United States in how much trash they have, but when you get into like third and second world countries, it's really bad. The Ocean Cleanup Project kind of just shocks me every time they post a video on Instagram and you see the rivers that are just chocked full of plastic after these rainstorms, and just how many tons of plastic is gathered from the rivers, and then their boats that they have out at sea that are collecting massive amounts of trash out of the garbage patches that are out there. It's crazy. But stuff like that makes me hopeful that like we are doing something about it. The thing is that it's just a small chunk of people, small communities that seem to be involved in actually trying to protect and care for nature. And they seem, it at least seems like they're getting smaller, like more people are getting tuned in with the rat race of being a capitalist and, money, 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 and money above all, and your retirement matters and your savings account matters and what you can buy and the clout you can have because of the job that you have. It it all really bothers me, and how many jobs that we're chasing out there are actually really fulfilling for people. I'd say majority of Americans at least aren't fulfilled with the jobs that we have, and I for one would enjoy being fulfilled by the work that we do, but our society isn't really designed for that. Our society needs people to work these jobs at McDonald's or Tyson Chicken or warehouses where you're doing repetitive work, and even some of those jobs are high paying, but like, are they fulfilling? I don't think so. And even necessary jobs that we have, they're not necessarily fulfilling. Like caretaking of elderly, it's a necessary job that we have in this country and other countries and other places, especially developed in third world nations. The family tries to take care of elderly the best they can. Here we offset it to customer service positions that get paid $15 to maybe $20 an hour to clean up after elderly, to cook them meals, to help them to the bathroom, to bathe them, to get them their medicine. Sometimes if you're like a certified nurse assistant or whatnot, you can make $25, maybe $30 an hour doing that kind of work. But even then, you're not really getting ahead in this economy and this inflation. And it just leads me to believe that like apathy is kicking in, and the people that have the money are in more control of the direction that we're going. And the more that they don't want to give back to the worker and allow the worker to have a meaningful slice of the economic pie, the less likely this whole system seems to work, and the more people stop caring about nature itself. They don't have the time to. They're concerned with distractions to feel better instead of like caring about the trash that's piling up in their canal or their stream that runs through their apartment complex, or just like instead of walking to the garbage compactor, people in some communities I've seen just toss their garbage, plastic bags, and everything out into the nearby forest. And they're not forests; they're just like areas where the trees weren't cut down. And this is common. This is not only common here in the United States in certain areas; it's common globally, where people just aren't giving back their time because they don't have the energy to give back that time. Their energy is put into trying to make themselves feel better for the non-fulfillment work and positions that are left in society, or the society that they're a part of. It more and more makes me feel like I just want to tap out of this entire thing. Like I really envy the idea of a community or a commune or these places that I don't know if many of them work out, and I know some of them have drama and control issues, but it makes me crave for a different style of life than this race to the bottom rat race that we have in most of the first world nations like Canada, the United States, Mexico. In Europe, you have a more socialist system, and there's more of a balance to the work life. So generally, they're a little bit happier. But I'd still say the corporate and government control is still there and still oppressing many people in different ways. But I've never been to Europe. I don't know. I don't know many Europeans. I haven't looked into it too much. I'm probably buying into a lot of propaganda, to be honest. But I have my suspicions that there isn't a system or a government on this planet that is working properly in respects to the balance of humans. But Europe might be one of the closer ones to it. You hear a lot of people lately, in the past few months, say China is better at this. I don't think China's any better than the United States when it comes to protecting nature, protecting human rights. Or I think they're very comparable. They're just different flavors of poison. The communism in China and the democracy in America, they both seem very infected and corrupted by greed and money, and the desire for more of that in less hands. And yeah. And where is this pushing us? Where is it pushing us when we stop taking care of the planet? When we allow 200 million acres of national forests to go logged in America because a president and people that support him say that we don't get enough of our lumber in the United States, which is kind of our fault. We didn't want to keep doing lumber forests, and a lot of them went to waste, and we decided to just buy it from overseas. So it's kind of our fault. We have places that we could forest this lumber and not attack natural spaces like national parks and federal land, but instead it's easier to attack those places, log as much as you can down, and possibly sell off the rights to that land at some point when it's ecologically devastated, to mine for other resources or to acquire other resources from those sites. Where does this lead us all? This perpetuates more and more destruction for Earth, that's for sure. But where is it pushing us? I keep trying to... I've been telling people for years that this is pushing us to like some sort of like simulated alternate reality where some people are going to go to escape the destructive reality that we've laid out before us. And I swear it's going to be like a blockchain simulated reality where all of this is stored and replayable or like remakeable in ways. Like I think that's where it's heading, and it's going to separate us from whatever it did mean or does mean to be an actual living physical biological being. Now, I believe I'm already in that. I believe I'm already in some sort of simulation. To me, I've never been able to shake it. Ever since I took my first LSD trip, it fucking short-fired my mind and showed me things. that other people have told me they've never seen. But I am fully convinced, for better or for worse, and sometimes I think for worse, that I am in a simulation, and I do not know what it is to have a soul. Like, what does it mean if you're in such a system? What does death mean if there is like some sort of technological rebirth or recreation or a new clone of you? What does any of it mean? What does it matter? And I think that's what we're being pushed and hurdled to, um, and people just don't realize it yet. Uh, Humans have always craved security and safety and given up their rights for these things. And I believe that security and safety will eventually come in the form of a technological preserve, if you will, where you can go and continue to have out lives, just normal, old lives. I consider this old, because at some point this lifestyle all of us live in 2025, it's 2025, like, is going to be considered old, in the future. And the technology might be around to just constantly recreate that life and give people that choose to live such primitive lives a space to live. And then some beings might evolve into other technological entities that I am not creative enough to think about, but they would be akin to gods in a way, like powerful, fully merged with an artificial intelligence, maybe, or maybe they are artificial intelligence. I don't know, but I do think that's what's happening. And I think the destruction of nature, the apathy towards one another, towards protecting nature, towards preserving um, what it is to be connected to all this, or to feel connected to all this, or to have time to take it all in and remember and cherish it. Like, we're slowly being torn away from that through greedy impulses from a small minority. And it just, it doesn't feel morally right, you know? Um, if there is a simulation or whatnot, I'm not sure if it's the moral thing to do. I don't know what the right thing to do is. Is it just to keep biologically evolving and protecting the planet and protecting what it is to be a living being? Is it to just advance as much as humanly or biologically or technologically possible? Like, is that the purpose? And that's why a simulation might be created? Or is the purpose just to experience this and burn out and not worry so much about what happens, what direction is taken, whether it is you stay biological species that, harnesses the very life force of the planet and stays in balance with it, or if we are supposed to evolve into something that can constantly recreate that in a dream-like form, in a technological dream. It's what it kind of felt like when I would be on LSD. Like, I would be shown really vivid things, and I'll have to tell you guys in another video about that. I've probably spoken about it a few times here and there, but I've had some really powerful hallucinogenic visions when I take LSD, and when I explain them to friends and people throughout my life, they don't usually experience things like that. And I don't like to think that I'm special, but I start to wonder, like, if I can have these thoughts or these visions come to me, is it important for me to communicate that to other people that, like, haven't experienced that or might not be able to experience that? I don't know. I don't know, but I'll make another video talking about that. I just wanted to focus on, like, this apathetic push caused by our greed, which seems to be splitting us away from being connected to nature and be more connected to a technology that will imitate nature. And I don't know, I don't know anymore what's right or what's wrong, you know, like, because one is a form of technological immortality in a way, but is it? Like, what happens if you don't really have a soul? Like, are you just gone afterwards? But what happens in the real body? A lot of us believe that we do have a soul and that we go on, and our energy force, you know, merges with the universe and maybe gets reborn or reincarnated or comes to another planet, or, you know, like, the possibilities could be endless. But maybe the possibilities for a technological kind of reincarnation are also endless. Does it even matter? Does it matter? I don't know. Does it matter? I don't know. It feels like it does matter. It feels like we are losing something important as we watch the advance of technology and our civilization take away spaces like this, take away creatures like this. You know, I mean, dogs are going to be here for a little bit of time, but places like this are going to become more and more rare, you know, unless we get a hold of population. And even then, you know, I have a bad feeling that our hunger for energy will make us chew up other resources like water. They want to use water and hydrogen for fusion power, theoretically, and helium. Well, to get the helium, you've probably got to mine up the moon somehow. And to get the hydrogen, well, you just got to suck up all the water and break down the oxygen and the hydrogen and shake the hydrogen. And that's going to use a lot of freaking water. I've had another vision on LSD show me that. Like, it showed me, like, the future Earth, and it showed me how much we, like, used water and how little left there was on the planet, and showed me these, like, huge structures that were just consuming massive amounts of water. And I imagine if we are in some sort of a simulation kind of thing, that would take a lot of computing power and a lot of energy to make, especially to keep people, quote unquote, alive, or the idea of people, or the consciousness of people. I don't know, guys. I've always been worried, but I don't really talk out to my YouTube channel about this, or I've talked to friends here and there about it, but it usually goes over their heads in a lot of ways, or they try and calm me down. And I think it's important to talk about, because I personally think it's coming. It's a choice that we're going to have to make. Years ago, many years ago, I'd be like, there's no way there's going to be a simulation that's going to make people quasi-immortal. Like, in like 2004, I'm like, there's no way. Like, the LSD came to me and it showed me, and I'm like, there's no way. There's no technology that's going to do that. How's that going to happen? And then, like, blockchain comes, and then artificial intelligence comes, and then all these puzzle pieces of technology, fusion power, they're all coming together to possibly make this in the future. And I'm worried it's not good. But if I'm already in it now and have the space to have these thoughts and have the chance to speak out or speak for, is it good? I don't know. I don't know. It feels good, but it feels bad. This is a very long video. I doubt many people will watch the whole thing. I could keep going on and on and on, but I only have like 20 more minutes of recording left on the phone in the first place. And yeah, I'll just make another video about it. I'll just keep trying to talk to you guys about this. It's what I've wanted to talk to the world about for years. So I'm scared. Scared to lose all this. For what? For all this? It's mind-boggling. I don't know. But anyone that did watch this or skip through it, or anyone that watches this in the future, or any artificial intelligence that watches and scans this in the future, I appreciate you. I hope you had a good day. I hope you get to enjoy the experience around you, and maybe try and make someone's day a little brighter if you can. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that cool fun stuff below. And me and Couple catch you in the next video. I gotta keep walking. Bye guys.